Hello, everybody. I'm very happy to be here. Previous years, I was in the public, and now I'm on the scene. This is much more impressive from this side. And I'm going to talk about SVGO and how a simple problem became a Tucastar library. First, I'm Greg. My Twitter is NeoZero. I'm a JavaScript developer and a React developer also. I'm also an open source lover. I maintain React Autoloader. I also created several libraries like Shipit, Just Puppeteer, and of course SVGO. Last year I founded SmoothCode. SmoothCode is a dev studio and a training center based in Paris. We are specialized in JavaScript, React, GraphQL. You can check it out on smoothcode.com if you are interested. Anyway, I'm not here to talk about SmoothCode, so let's start. All open source libraries start with a problem. And last year, I was working on a React project and I faced one. I had some icons in Sketch, and I had to use them in my React application. I quickly figured out that SVG was the good format to do it, but I had to transform my SVG into a React component. And basically, you can do it in 3 steps. The first one, you have to export your SVG from your design editor. In my case, it was Sketch, and from Sketch, you can export an artboard to an SVG file, so it's pretty simple. The next one, you have to optimize your SVG. Sketch does not optimize SVG, and the best way to optimize it is using SVGO. SVGO has a nice online GUI. You can just paste your SVG code in it, then you copy the result, and it's optimized. And the third and the last step is the most complicated one. You have to transform your SVG code into a React component. You have to add, to import React, to change the code, the HTML into the JSX, and it's pretty boring step. And when you do it, you look like a robot, like you do a repetitive task. And I did it for 30 icons, and I decided to take a step back. I'm not a robot, I'm a developer, and as a developer, robots are my friend. So let's find a robot. I found a lot of libraries to do it, and on one hand, I realized I was not the only one facing this problem, but on the other, I was a little disappointed because none of them was completely fitting my needs. They had some problems. The first problem, they were based on regex, and transforming SVG is a complicated thing, and you can't do it properly with regex. The second one, the Node API was missing, and I wanted to use the tool in command line. So I can build a command line from a Node API, but if I have no Node API, I can't do anything. So I found some Webpack loader, but I can't do anything with it. And the last one, unit tests were missing. And I can't trust a library without unit tests, especially if it's based on regex. So I decided to build another React Awesome SVG transformer. And before starting to write code, you have to analyze the problem. Creating a library is like climbing. You must define your path before starting, else you could fall. So the first step for me was to define my input and my output. The input, in my case, was a SVG file. A SVG file is just a piece of XML code. But in fact, if you just you remove the first line, this is mostly HTML. You can inline SVG into a HTML page, and it will just work. So my input is just HTML. Okay. And now the output. The output is a React component. A React component is JavaScript. Yes, you have import, you have a function, but this is mostly JSX, in fact. The only changing part and complicated one is the JSX. So we can resume the problem by transforming HTML into JSX. But wait, HTML is a language and JSX is another language. So I know what I need. I need a transpiler. A transpiler takes the source code of a program written in one programming language and produces the equivalent source code in another programming language. This is what I need. And when I say transpiler, you probably think about Babel, the JavaScript transpiler. Babel takes new version of JavaScript and transforms it into old version of JavaScript. Then you can run it in every browser. But how does Babel work? Babel parses the code using Babylon, then AST is generated. The AST is traversed in plugins. Plugins modified the AST, and then from the modified AST, you can generate a new JavaScript code. So in my case, it was HTML into JSX. So I created H2X. H2X is a transpiler to transform HTML into JSX. The HTML is parsed using JSDOM. Then you get AST. The AST is just the DOM, in fact. And in plugins, you can modify it. And you can generate the final output, that is JSX, from the modified AST. This is an example of how to run H2X. Basically, you can see that you have HTML code, and in the output, you have some JSX code. You can see that the class has been changed into class name, and the tag is now auto-closed. Now an example of a plugin. This one will replace an attribute value by another attribute value. I use it to replace a color in my SVG by current color. Current color is a magic CSS property that say just use the text color. So if you do it in SVG, your SVG will behave exactly like a font icon. So H2X is one thing. This is the core of SVGR, but this is not SVGR. For SVGR, I wanted something easy to use and developer friendly. And to do it, I asked myself, what do developers want? And you should ask yourself the same question if you want to create a library for developers. So, first, a developer wants an API, the Node.js API. This is the most important one because from this API, you can build any other API. You can build a command line interface. This was my use case, so I decided to build it in SVGO. And you can also build a Webpack loader. The Webpack loader was not my use case, but by looking at all other libraries, I figured out that it was one of the most common use case for the most of users. And then you have to add some features. The first one was SVGO, of course. I didn't want to copy-paste my code anymore. So I decided to make it built-in in SVGO. Then some H2X plugin, like the one I showed before, to be able to transform SVG into icons. And the last feature was prettier. The code generated by H2X is good, but not very nice. And prettier takes care of making it beautiful and readable. So, SVGO was born. I spent a weekend on the library to code it. I use it for only 10 icons. It's overkill, yes, but my problem was fixed forever. And now, thank you. Now, a quick demo. This is the website of SVGO. You can transform your SVG online. You can see that you have some options, SVGO, icon, all the stuff. And you have the output that is React component. I was pretty happy with it, so I decided to open source it. And open sourcing a library is mostly a marketing issue. You must make users want to try your library. And for that, first, you need a catchy logo. If you spend a weekend like me to code a library, you can spend additional 30 minutes to create a logo. But if you don't want to do it, you can just pick an emoji. I picked the lion. Why a lion? Because SVGO picked the tiger, and I wanted to stay in the jungle theme. Actually, I spent additional 30 minutes to create a real logo. I picked the React logo, I changed the colors, and I added the lion in it. And then you need a sexy README. When you open source a project, usually you don't have a website for it, so the home of your project is the README. And this is important to make it look great. I got inspired by style components and prettier. And at the top, you put the logo, you put some badges. Badges are important because they give confidence about your project. The build and the test coverage badges are the most important for me. Then you can add an example. Users must quickly figure out what your library does. Then motivation, it's important. What problem are you trying to solve with this library? Then some recipes. Users do not want to read the complete API to know how to do a simple use case. Then you can describe more complex usage. usages like Node.js API, Webpack. And then you have to describe all options. This is the full API. And you can also refer other projects to thank them and also to say, I know they exist, but they don't fit my need. And the final and the most important step of the open source is communication. You can publish your library on Hacker News, Reddit, Product Hunt, or other developer networks. And Twitter is also a great tool. If you decide to go for Twitter, don't forget to mention other authors and other libraries that you used in the project. It gives you both, you and them, a good visibility. And then the success happens. You get 1 star from you, 1 from your girlfriend, and 1 from your best friend. So yes, you understand, you need to be patient. Making a library popular could take a long time, but you must never let go and continue to push new features, to make new releases, to continue. And one day, Christopher Shadow tweeted about EaseVGR. Christopher Shadow was part of React team. He works at Facebook. He is the man behind the success of Prettier. By tweeting about EaseVGR, he was actually promoting Prettier. And then React Europe tweeted it too. I got a stars from Dan Abramov. And the next day, and the next day, the project was trending on GitHub. So, yes, always bet on Prettier, but this is not the conclusion. The conclusion is you have to refer other projects and to create a large ecosystem, to use other libraries to build another tool. And your project can become popular. So, this being said, what is EaseVGR today? Today, EaseVGR can be used online, in command line, in Node, or as a Webpack loader. It has built-in EaseVGR support. You don't have to worry about optimization in your EaseVG. It supports React Native. You can target React Native. In terms of stats, there is more than 3,000 downloads and more than 2,000 stars on GitHub. And what is the future of EaseVGR? We want to add support for project configuration like PrettyRC or EaseVGR YML. To be able to target TypeScript, this is not possible today, but tomorrow it will. Create a Mac application to be able to drag and drop your SVG and get React components. And create Sketch and InVision Studio plugin. This was my first use case, and if I could target React in Sketch, it will be awesome. And there is one more thing. You probably recognize this screen. This is the home of Create React app when you initialize a new project. And this is the file app.js from Create React app. And I took it and I changed 2 lines. The second one, I changed the import, and I import a React component from EaseVG. and then I use it directly in the code, and I put some size in my component, and then I got that. So yes, SVGR will be built in the next version of Create React App. It means you will be able to Thank you. It means that you will be able to inline your SVG without adding a single line of code. So if you like it, you can follow the project on GitHub. You can also contribute. There is a lot of issues. And you can also follow me on Twitter if you want. I hope you enjoyed the presentation. Thank you for your attention.